Alrighty, guys. Hello and welcome back to the show. I was actually like walking upstairs getting ready to do this cast, and I was like, wouldn't it be great if I had like just a really awesome prepubescent voice crack whenever I'm trying to do the show portion? Which would be great. You know, I'm still going through puberty. Almost 30. Still going through puberty. But yeah, cast going on today. Y'all don't want to hear the, struggles of, apparently an adolescent male going through puberty. We got a 4v4 coming y'all's way today. This is going down on Funeral Plains, so we're going to break the mold. I think we had like a 15 cast streak going over, quite an extended period of time, with every single cast being a Neuroxis map generator, because that's just where everybody was playing the game. But we're going on Funeral Plains this time. Talk about the map just a touch. So you do have these plateaus. You'll see tactical missile bases set up here. You'll also see point defenses, fire bases, stuff like that. We got some neutral buildings up in each corner for the players to go after. And then a good amount of reclaim kind of all around the map, with a large portion of it concentrated here in the middle. But even around these edges, you're going to have good amounts of rocks. There's also a good amount of reclaim back here in the back of everybody's base. So you'll see some good reclaim action going. Not too many mexes. I think every player gets like 6 to 8 mexes. So not great, not terrible, somewhere in there. But let's go ahead and introduce our players. Starting with team 1 up at the top, we've got Nuli Secunda, who is going UEF in a lovely orange color. His teammate down to the south is a Seraphim by the name of Milo, and both of these guys going first land, which makes sense on this map. Next we got Brute, who's popping that champagne, and he's going UEF, opening first land. I actually don't even know if that's how you pronounce the champagne. Is it Brute? Is it Brut? Is it Brute? A two Brute? I don't know. Anyway, Seraphim, last player for team number 1. We have Blue Dream, who's playing as yellow and not actually playing as the blue player. He also doesn't know how to spell blue, but he does know how to spell dream, and he threw an underscore in there. So he's going first land, second air as Seraphim, last player for team number 1. Going to team number 2 quickly before action kicks off. Cybrin, going by the name of Neck Boom, getting that hydrocarbon up and ready, going land all day, it would look like. His team to the east, we have Gar. He's going UEF, opening first land. Undecided as of yet what he's going to go for on his second factory. Next, we've got an Aeon player going by Sindal. He's going first and second land. And last but not least, we have full diversity and inclusion and equity as well. We have a Seraphim player down here in the south in a lovely purple. And that player's name is Sainaru Funa, which I'm sure means something to somebody, or he just headbutt his keyboard whenever he was putting his name in, and it crapped out something that kind of makes sense. But the reclaiming has already started. We got Gar running a Tech 1 engineer all the way to the middle. We have a little raiding party here as well from Milo. That might probably going to be able to pick up this engineer and might be interfering with some of those reclaim operations. So, as a reminder, good amounts of reclaim here. I think at the beginning of the game, it was something like 3.8k worth of mass. So getting a little piece of that is definitely going to help you get your mexes up to Tech 2. And as we all know, in the mass game here, the more mass you can get sooner, it slingshots your economy even more. It's a game of leverage. And I forgot to turn the mini map on. I turn it off whenever I'm taking thumbnails. Forgot to turn it back on. So there we go. Now we have a mini map. We're not blind to everything that's happening on the screen. Like this brutal murder of a civilian by Milo should be brought up on charges with the Geneva Convention. But the THAM will pay for its mistake. We got Tech 1 units from both Sendal as well as Gar taking it down. So some other raiding parties with some labs, some mech marines, as well as some flares. Milo's commander making his way out to the middle as well to get in on some of that reclaiming action. Or he's going to stand there. Oh, there we go. Now he's reclaiming. He was going after that big rock, but misclicked it and got a different rock instead. So if y'all don't know, the kind of the best way that I've found to do this in either, this would hold true on like Open Wonder or anything where you got a lot of rocks, is just select your commander, and then if you hit E, which is the hotkey I have this bound to, you can grab reclaim, and then you can just shift Q, just like spam click all around here, just tons of actions, and you'll get yourself some reclaim. But it's a good way to make sure that your comm is reclaiming, even if you're not attack moving with an engineer. And if y'all are interested in a tutorial on best ways to reclaim without having to micromanage all of your actions per minute, you can go look up my reclaim video. Just look up duelist reclaiming video. It should show up on YouTube, hopefully. But I go through all the different ways that you can reclaim, what you're good, what you're not good, the advantages and disadvantages of kind of all of the different methods of reclaiming. So if you're looking to up your reclaim game, go ahead and click ahead to the sponsor in the description, which would be myself, because I'm sponsoring this video. Apparently, I don't know where this is all coming from. We're just following the duelist formula of my casts get slightly more unhinged the longer I do it. But Sindal with an initial, I believe this is range upgrade on his commander right now, threatening this land factory that was thrown down by Milo. So that's going to be, rather annoying for Milo here, as he has certainly not gotten his return on investment out of that land factory yet. But Sindal not going to commit for it. Land factory left with 500 HP, and now Milo walking his commander into a army or a squadron of T1 units and taking actually some pretty decent damage here from the Aurora, as well as some of the Fervor artillery whenever a lucky shell does hit him. Sindal now double teamed here, 2 vanilla commanders. He does have a range upgrade, so it gives him a little bit of an advantage here. Going aggressive on Milo, as Milo now drops down to 4.5k HP. Tech 1 units are chasing. We have Tech 1 units as well from Brutes coming in to support. And now Sindal also dropping down into the yellow on his commander. Milo drops into the red at 2k HP-ish. Milo looks like he's going to make it out of this. Sindal now dropped into the yellow, and now it's time for his reinforcements coming in from Gar. And Gar has a gun upgrade. I don't know why I'm going for that voice, but seemed appropriate. And Gar is now going to kill that land factory as well as a radar. So Milo did not get a good return on investment for that land factory. To be fair, though, he put it very far forward on the enemy's team's side of this crater. And Gar with the gun upgrade now batting down some Tech 1 units as well coming out from Milo. And Milo now once again walking in here, and Milo could die here. Like, if Gar wants to kill him, Milo could die. And it's looking like Gar is going to seize this opportunity here. Misstep from our Seraphim player up on team number 1, and that is going to be our first ejection of the game here. Gar down at about 7k HP up against Brute, but Brute with that vanilla commander, Gar could honestly just square off and he would still win. He'd get a 2-for-1 here, and I don't think it would even be a mutual. Or no, maybe it would be. But we'll see what Gar does. Gar could definitely play this a lot more aggressively. Although there are Tech 1 units here, so he's got to be a little bit careful. Does he have radar? He does have radar, so he does know that there are, some units back behind the commander. But probably doesn't want to push it right now. Drops down to about 4k HP. Gonna pull back, heal up a little bit. Throwing some overcharges over his shoulder for good measure. And on the eastern side of the map, we got a Tech 1 land factory under attack here. Team 1 really into those forward land factories. And looking like Blue Dream is going to lose his land factory that's up forward. We have some point defense here getting thrown down by Brute, as well as Blue Dream's commander. Going to take out some of these Tech 1 units, but a lot of them going to make it in. That's actually Tech 2 on the field now for Blue Dream. We have first couple of Ilshivas on the field for our Seraphim player. Lovely Ilshiva combat there. Should be able to mop up most of these Tech 1 units. think a lot of the tanks are gone. It's a lot of anti-air and artillery now, which the Ilshevas shouldn't have too much of an issue with. Yeah, you can see him just absolutely melting through that lower rated tech. And the pressure just does not let up from Team 2. As Sindal now with the gun speed upgrade and accompanying his range upgrade, taking out these newly erected plasma cannons. There from Brute. Brute also losing some Tech 1 land in this whole incident as well. Sindal will take some PD fire as well as some artillery shells, but he's not too concerned about that, it would appear. He's mostly concerned about getting those value shots in, taking those advantageous trades wherever he can. Northern side of the map has been a little bit more quiet here between Neckboom and Nuli Secunda, and I say that as these guys actually start giving each other a little love tap here. Both with gun upgrade, Cyberncom versus UEFcom. So Cyberncom going to be at a slight disadvantage there with that 2k HP difference, but with good overcharge management and management of Tech 1 units, you can bring that down to a level playing field here pretty equally, or pretty easily. So we'll zoom out a little bit. As you can see, Sindal pushing pretty far forward, pretty aggressively. Nano Repair now coming in for Brute. Interesting to go for Nano first. I would assume it's just because his comm is relatively heavily damaged. Blue Dream as well going for gun speed and range here on the right-hand side of the map. Nano Repair completing now for Gar to go with his gun upgrade. So that comm is going to be pretty difficult to deal with now. True UEF Rambo comm. Just missing the shield at this point. And then Brute going on for his own gun upgrade as well. So we'll have both Nano and gun there for both of our UEF commanders there in the center. UEF commander up at the north going for T2 instead. So Nuli Secunda going for gun and Tech 2. So expanding his engineering prowess just a little bit instead of going for full commander combat. Combat. Is that a tongue twister? I don't know. Feels kind of like a tongue twister. My tongue feels twisted right now. And actually shield now coming in for Brute. So Brute going full on offensive. Get the hell out of my way, commander. But he's got to use that. He is on a timeline. You know, anytime you invest, I think, really heavily into your commander like that, you're a little bit on a timeline. Just because while the shield upgrade is really, really nice and it gives you a great power curve on the commander, sometimes the sacrifices you have to make in your economy in order to get there means that you're not going to have as much of a T2 force or a T3 force. And even with shield, that comm can get overwhelmed by Percivals or experimentals unless you've got just an absolutely insane overcharge ability, which I do not. And judging that, you know, Brute's about an 1100 level player, he probably knows that overcharge exists and uses it, but he's probably not as surgical as some of the more professional players out there. Now we have gun advanced range coming in for Sindal, so UEF sniper comm action coming in. Blue Dream, not super happy with that, is going to go in and try and disrupt this a little bit, throwing out some overcharges, getting some good kills. The only problem is Sindal can dish out just as much damage with his commander at essentially the same range. So Blue Dream at a severe disadvantage here because he does not have any real land units here to help him out. And Sindal could put him in a very dangerous position if he just comes in and, you know, with his Tech 1 units and just blocks the commander from moving. This might be what he's trying to do for there. You can see these units kind of going after a Shift G attempt, but bad timing there. Blue Dream going to be able to throw out some profitable overcharges there. And now we have our two UEF battle comms squaring off here. Shield, Nano, and gun for Brute. Only Shield and Nano out for Gar. So Gar's got to chew through a pretty healthy shield here at about 19,000 HP and then get through the overall health pool of Brute. And Gar actually in trouble here. We see Nathas coming out from Blue Dream. Gar could be in trouble here, and this is exactly what Brute needs to be doing here to get some good value out of this UEF Rambo comp. Gar takes a couple of those Nathas to the face, brings in his Tech 1 units to try and block Brutes. Gar down at 3k HP though. Not looking super good. Brute seems to be getting distracted though. Is getting some body blocks off. Not great though. Gar still easily in range. We go to Brute's perspective here. He's got to get outside. Brute does have a little bit of radar. That actually doesn't have radar. So as soon as Gar gets out of radar range or gets out of visual range, he should be okay. But Brute seems to just not be paying attention. He's throwing random shots after Tech 1 units. Gar's dropping down to 600 HP. 500 HP there. 500 HP again. The Nano keeping him in this fight. Takes a couple more shots, drops down to 100 HP, and then loses visual. The Nathas missing their shots. He's up to 500 HP again as Brute is now in huge trouble. Trying to go for the mutual maybe. Gets a rank of veterancy, which actually probably just knocked him out of the mutual range. That body block came in just in the nick of time, and that veterancy kept him from exploding and mutualing with Gar. And Gar gonna escape by the skin of his teeth there. I think the lowest HP I saw was like 110. We have a couple of Nathas still trying to go after that snipe, but Gar picked up a couple ranks of veterancy and is now sitting pretty healthy there at about 8k HP. So pretty far out of sniper range, or pretty far out of snipage range. And that was a very close shave there for, I believe, the highest rated player there for team number 2 at about 1300 rating. So that would have been a good bag there. We did lose Milo somewhere along the line. I was trying to stay focused on it. Milo actually might have exploded just right here. I wasn't 100% paying attention because I was still coming down from Cloud 9 off of that crazy com-on-com action. But yeah, we'll throw a visual on the screen of how Milo died, because yeah, unfortunately I can't rewind on these replay viewers. Wish you could, but you can't. You know, if I was a developer, I would have built in rewind into the Forge Alliance replay counter and playback system, but I'm not. It was out of my control. All right. Okay. Okay, so 2 players left there for team number 1 now. 17 minutes into the game. Team 2 still at full roster. This is full share, as most games are played with full share now. So Blue Dream as Seraphim and Noli Secunda on the UEF side are the only 2 players left there for team number 1. Shield on 15% upgrade. That sentence makes no sense. Noli Secunda is getting a shield upgrade, and he is about 30% of the way done with it. That sentence was a little bit better. But things are a little bit quieter right now, except for, you know, little skirmishes. I don't think that this is gonna do a ton. There's a T1 point or T2 point defense right here that's gonna make it difficult for these units to push in. There's the commander as well with a gun upgrade that would be able to overcharge these units. He does have his own T2 units here, and that is gonna mean that Sainaru Yuna is not going to push that issue a ton. I was actually just about to say, I'm surprised that nobody's gone after these neutral buildings yet, but it looks like Neck Boom is going after them. And then down on the south, Sainaru has kind of secured this area, but has not gone after the neutral buildings yet. The Tech 2 point defense does make it a little bit more tricky. You got to bring in a mobile missile launcher if you don't want to lose any units, but not impossible by any means. Shield upgrade now coming in for Sindal, so everybody going for just full calm destruction on their commander, trying to deal out as much damage with their commanders as they possibly can. And Noli Secunda that newly minted shield upgrade. Now square it off against Rhinos here out of Neck Boom. And he should be fine. He's got Tech 2 units back behind him. Parashields are going to come in. He's going to be able to throw out some overcharge. He can fall back to these triads if he needs to. This is essentially a World War I reenactment where people are going to go out, they're going to kill a bunch of units there, and they're going to go back to their... Go out, kill a bunch of people, go back to their trenches. Go out the next day, do the same thing again, go back to their trenches. Such is UEF gameplay. I've also started thinking about what I want to do with the channel now. I don't want to do any more first-person gameplay. I don't think I want to really play the game as much anymore. I kind of want to do a Guile thing and just cast. If I do play, it'll probably just be like with friends. But I've been thinking about a bunch of different things that we can do as Nuli is now getting kind of surrounded. Neckboom got some help here from Gar, some Tech 2 units, and is... I mean, it's a lot of units, but with the support that Nuli has here in these Tech 2 point defense, I still don't think that this is going to amount to anything, but I might be wrong. As Nuli's shield is now gone, we're starting to lose some of that HP. Only one triad left. Okay, so did take out the point defense, so... taking out some of the static defensive emplacements. And, you know, I take back what I said earlier. Neckboom and Gar able to get a little bit of work done there. Sindal as well, using that Aeon Sniper comm. Almost full rank of veterancy. Wow. Actually, everybody is, you know, very highly vetted on their commanders. Everybody's using their comm to very effective lengths here. As Nuli's still out there dealing with some of these Tech 2 units. Neckboom just not able to really use his commander in the same way. That Cybern commander really starts to fall off. And Neckboom actually needs to be very careful here, as HP just starts evaporating off of Neckboom. And he's going to go down. On the other side, Blue Dream rooted in place on a Tech 2 upgrade for his commander. Does have good Ilshiva support and that gun upgrade, and Nano as well on his commander. So that commander's going to, that Seraphim comm, very difficult to take out. He's got 14,000 HP. So he should be okay. Just needs to overcharge the rest of these Ilshivas. Even with a little bit of triad support over here from his UEF counterpart. And Otham's out, so into Tech 3. Just good to see. Still is making Nothas. I don't know why we're still making Nothas here. Unless those are ASF. Oh no, those are ASF. I'm crazy. For a second I thought they were Nothas. Okay, these are Mongeese. I thought these were... Oh no, there is Tech 3 out here. We got Percivals as well as a couple of Titans. So Neckboom's base now transferred over to Gar. Neckboom was the second highest rated player, so that's gonna sting on the Team 2 roster here. But does get inherited by Gar, who is the highest rated player. So full faith in Gar's ability to manage this economy. And now we're just kind of going into a little bit of a skirmish mode here as the Titans and Percivals and Mongeese, just kind of this, you know, little bot raiding party running around. Nuli not going to be able to do a ton with that right this instant. But as you can see, bringing in some parashields, bringing in some more reinforcements. He's also got Tech 3 engineers pretty far forward, grabbing some of this reclaim, which is good. And we can talk about Eco just real briefly before somebody else decides that they want to step their toe out of line and get absolutely annihilated. Eco-wise, Team 2 up by about 20k over Team number 1, which makes sense. They've got, I'd say, 65 to 70% of the map right now. So we'll look to see how Team 1 capitalizes on that Eco lead. Nuli, once again, very far forward, but does have Tech 3 backup. So going to be difficult for Gar to be able to really push this issue. This is a lot of Tech 1 and Tech 2 land. He did have his commander up here as well. So maybe he's thinking the commander is going to be the great equalizer here. But with the Titans and the Percivals in this mix, like, it makes it more dangerous, honestly, for his commander than anything else, especially because he's got the shielding to be able to eat up the initial overcharge shot. So those Percivals can just layer a full volley here into Gar's commander, which is going to do pretty significant damage. Beautiful overcharge there. That was a juicy overcharge. Gar stepping forward a little bit, just throws out a little overcharge action. Decides to back up. Gar going after some reclaim and getting some point defense up. Needs to be careful about eating a lot of these MML shots, though. These MMLs do pretty significant amounts of damage. That was 7,000 HP of damage that he just ate in his shield. Nully playing a little all over the map right now. He's also got Percivals dealing with some Aeon incursion down here. Sindal's sniper comm not making it easy. Blue Dream bringing his comm out to deal with it. Both of these guys pretty maxed out as far as their comm potential. Beautiful overcharge, dropping 3 obsidians right there. And that's going to be everybody kind of go back to their corners. Anyway, what I was going to say before, you know, action erupted is I'm thinking about going back and just redoing my entire old catalog of science videos. Because there's been balance changes. You know, I went back and watched some of my earlier science videos. The audio was garbage. My analysis was, you know, meh at best. So I'm probably going to go back and redo a lot of those. And that's going to be kind of my new science content. As Blue Dream now taking some shots here from a pretty large Ilsheva army. And that's doing some pretty significant damage here. It's dropped down to about 50k HP. Does have backup in the form of Othams that are currently getting overcharged down by Sindal's commander. And Blue Dream not doing himself any favors with this Otham micro, making it more difficult on himself, but should be able to get away here, I think. Still got 4k HP. Sindal still with vision. How has Sindal still got vision? Still got vision. What is Blue Dream down to? Okay, about 2k HP before Sindal gave up the chase here because he was going to start losing very quickly. Matter of fact, is Sindal dead here? Sindal is dead. Wow. That was... We've seen some incredibly close shaves in this game from all around, all over the map. I'm thinking one commander is dead, another commander's dead instead. The Utashala point defense, as well as the Percival doing absolute monstrous amount of work there. One Percival shot, I think, took out like 2,000 HP out of Sindal. Tactical missile snipe on Blue Dream. Misses just barely. Couldn't even speak. Yeah, that was close. Yeah, get those TMDs up. Are we going to be able to fire another volley here? We are not going to be able to fire another full volley. And Blue Dream up at about 11,000 HP. I don't think 3 tactical missiles is enough anyway, even if he had a full volley ready. I think you need 4 or 5 TMDs for a fully upgraded command, or for a full health comm. And Blue Dream up at 12,000 HP, 13,000 HP is even higher than a full health non-vetted commander right now. So TMD snipe not going to work. Is going to make another attempt here, as you can see those tactical missiles fire out. Is TMD even up yet? He's trying to go after. Oh no, he's actually going after the Tech 3 Air HQ. I think was that the Air HQ or the Land HQ? I think that was the Air HQ. No, that was the Land HQ. Yeah. Okay, that's not great. That's going to halt Otham production there for Blue Dream there for a bit. And the mass gap is continuing to widen. 400k HP for team number 2, 350k for team number 1. So we're seeing the problems get worse and worse as team 1 kind of slowly getting boxed into their corner here. To their credit, I think they're trying to get out of it. They're just really struggling to find that secret ingredient. And this might actually be the secret ingredient. Chicken elevates all dishes. No matter what the dish is, if you throw chicken in it, it automatically makes it better. You got cheesecake? Throw some chicken in there. It'll make it better. That chicken out from Blue Dream, running into what is a not very well defended area. We got some tactical missile launchers, some factories, and a lot of engineers, and some Ilshivas, and one Otham. So shouldn't be any trouble for the chicken to deal with here. And, you know, we had an Otham, and we had a lot more Ilshivas at one point in time. So chicken should be able to deal with this. We do have Sindal, or no, not Sindal, Gar, sorry, who has now inherited the Aeon players' base, moving in with quite a few Titans, actually, as well as some Obsidians. I think that Blue Dream might just need to stand here and fight this out. The Athoda is not super good at firing back behind itself. It's not very good at retreating. It's really good at running in and killing things. It's not very good at running away and killing things. But the chicken should be able to get out. It is going to take a little bit of damage. Nuli Secunda going after his own little push here. Does have a large Percival squad squaring off against some Percivals out of Gar. Gar with significantly fewer Percivals, though. He's going to lose, I think, that exchange from a T3 perspective. But Nuli Secunda is looking moderately healthy still. I think there's enough Tech 3 in this, but the Corsairs out from Gar might change this all. Is there flak? There is flak here for Nuli Secunda, so okay. I think Nuli's going to be okay. The Corsairs coming in for another pass, and Gar moving some air to help out. There are ASF that are not responding. I just maybe Nuli or Blue Dream don't want to lose their air force. Okay, there we go. The ASF do respond, so Corsairs are going down. There's only like a couple of flak. I feel like there were either a lot of Corsairs or the flak is not doing very great. But either way, Nuli's shield is back up, so he's feeling a lot better about life now. These Corsairs are not going to be able to take him out, especially with the flak there. Yep, only a couple Corsairs left. I think like 6. Matter of fact, Gar looking like he's just going to pull those back. Realizes he's not going to be able to get the snipe, not going to be able to get the kill. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Eco looking worse for team 1. The chicken is somewhere shooting at something. I don't know where the chicken is right now. Oh, there it is. Okay, it took a lot of damage from something while we were looking at the Nuli situation. It was nullified. See what I did there? Yeah, but that chicken's not doing super great. You know, every caster says this, but you know, maybe just pull it back and reclaim it at this point, or just wait, because I mean that chicken is a light breeze away from becoming a roast dinner. It's going to get some work in, though. Going to take out some Percivals, you know. 16,000 HP still left on that. We do still have this Tech 3 force out from Nuli that is now starting to make a little bit of progress. And Nuli going even for some kind of forward manufacturing here. I don't know why we're building a Tech 2 land factory at this stage of the game, but hey, who am I to judge? I don't even play the game really anymore. I logged in for one game on, I think it was Saturday. This is a few days ago. It's Wednesday for me right now. I logged in on Saturday. I played one game, and I forgot that I thought if you hit enter, it would chat to just your team. But enter, I believe, is all chat. So I accidentally all chatted in the first 5 minutes. I was like, hey, this is my first game in like a year, so I would really prefer to not play air. And yeah. So that's about how that game went. It was not good. It was not a good game. You guys can go watch the replay. I played like an absolute noob. Couldn't even remember what I was supposed to be doing. Half the time I was trying to like remember what my build orders were or why I was trying to do something. I would try doing one thing and then do the wrong thing, and then I would tech into the wrong thing and then build the wrong thing. And there's a lot of wrong things. There were a lot of wrong things done in that game. This heavily damaged Athoda is still kicking out here for whatever reason, and it's actually doing. I think it picked up another rank of vet since the last time we looked at it, so it's now up at 3 ranks of vet, 162 kills. That is some value chicken right there. That is that hormone boosted chicken breast that you get at the supermarket for like $10 for, you know, 15 pounds of chicken. 10 pounds of chicken. I don't remember how much chicken breast is now off the top of my head. That is a value chicken right there. That is your $3 rotisserie chicken. We got another one coming off the line as well. Full HP. Full badness. A pretty large Tech 3 force here for Nully as well. So, and I've yet to see an experimental out of Team 2. Okay, so we do have a Monkey Lord. All right, I take that back. We do have an experimental there for Team 2. I feel like Team 2 just got like kind of... They lost all their momentum at some points in the game. They kept investing into Tech 1 units. Like, we still have interceptors being made by Gar. I don't know why. But Gar now finally seems to have gotten the message that Tech 3 is in fact a thing and something that you should build. It has a pretty good amount of Percivals here, though, supporting this Monkey Lord that he's sending in very far forward. If all the Percivals focus down the Monkey Lord, that Monkey Lord is cooked. But luckily, I don't think all the Percivals hit it at the same time, and I think there was a little bit of distraction. And nice pincer maneuver here from Gar. Going to clean up that whole Tech 3 force there from Nully. That is not what you want to see, especially with your commander on the front line. Nully needs to get out of there. Yeah, he does have a Ravager here. Nope, 2 Ravagers. Sorry, 2-point defense, and there we go. Nully, recognizing the danger of this force, is getting his commander the hell out of dodge. There is that badly damaged chicken here, under shielding. Going to do what it can here, but this is a pretty significant Tech 3 force. There are... Wow, Nully came up with more Percivals really fast. And that Monkey Lord... Still, even with that chicken's weakened state, still not able to square off against that chicken. So that's a pretty good hold there for team number 1. All things considered, how damaged that chicken was. Although the Monkey Lord was pretty severely damaged as well. So, you know, I'll give them that. That was a good hold there for team 1. Good amount of reclaim now in range of these factories, which should be producing engineers here in the near future. If we want to aggregate this reclaim, it's looking like it's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 35,000 reclaim here, just in this area, from that little push. So nice little juicy mass gift there. Another Monkey Lord out from Gar, going after something. Going after this firebase, I guess. But there are Percivals here. There's Ravager support here. That's gonna be a rough situation for this Monkey Lord to push into. Now that the Ravagers are going in, there is shielding as well on Nully's commander, so it's not like this Monkey Lord can just, like, you know, blow him up in the span of 2 seconds. Do they even know that the commander is there? Oh, they don't even know that the commander is there. All right, I take back what I said earlier. This Monkey Lord doing actually quite well up against the Tech 3 forces here. This is some of the first appreciable progress that Team 1 has made in like the last 20 minutes or so. That's good to see. All it took was a little bit of experimental thinking. And we got little skirmishes happening down here between some harbingers, some sniper bots. We got sniper bots actually on both sides. But yeah, Team 1 making some good progress here. There are still Nathas being made. I just saw one get shot down. I guess going after that Monkey Lord maybe. Seems to be the strategy for Blue Dream. Blue Dream loving his fighter bombers. Does have a newly minted chicken off the assembly line. I'm not sure where there was one that I guess died down here during a push. Okay, we missed that push. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Replay ID in the description if you want to go and watch this replay yourself to see all the things that I missed. Or if you're just here to, you know, hear me lose my mind. You know, that's cool too. We like hearing a caster lose their mind every now and then. Okay, there we go. I was hoping to see this out of, well, this is going to be Nully. Blue Dream does have, okay, this is a joint reclaim effort from both of them going after this Monkey Lord here. The second Monkey Lord, though, not super happy about it. Is going to lose some engineers. Not the end of the world, though. Did get some good reclaim out of it. That chicken out from Blue Dream in the right place at the right time. That Monkey Lord is about to get microwaved itself. Take that monkey, throw it into the microwave, use its own laser against it. That Monkey Lord's going down. And so ends the T3 push of Gar. So I feel like we need to start looking at maybe some long-term stuff here. We do have a Fat Boy now for Nully, so experimental out of Nully as well. And a chicken out from Sainaru. But I feel like we should start focusing on some longer game stuff here. We're 42 minutes into the game. Team 2 is up on mass by about 70,000 right now. If we look at mass income, you can see got almost 400k mass income, or 400 mass per second income there for Gar. Is he maxed out? Yeah, he is maxed out, and I think it's because of this Fat Boy construction right here. But maybe start looking at, I don't know, some satellites, nuke, maybe something that isn't, you know, just ramming Tech 3 units into point defense, because that's the only thing that's really been keeping Team 1 in this game so far, is all this massive reclaim that they have access to. If you want to look at total mass reclaim, you know, Team 1 40k up on reclaim. So if Team 2 had not been feeding this much reclaim to Team number 1, this mass disparity here of about 70-ish k, 60-ish k would be much wider. They'd be up about 100k mass right now. But instead, feeding a little bit of reclaim, and they're once again in a position where they feel like they need to push. We have another Monkey Lord. Gar needs to... Monkey Lords are great, man, but, you know, 40 minutes into the game up against Fat Boys and chickens, like, you gotta be throwing some crabs in the mix. You gotta be throwing some of your own meat into the mix. It can't all be Fat Boys and chickens. You gotta get some crab in there, some of that fresh Alaskan crab. Round out that menu. And this Monkey Lord, once again, well, might be able to kill the Athoda. I mean, that's good at least. So, I mean, that's an okay trade if it was just experimental for experimental. But, you know, it's also a ton of Tech 3 units that are getting killed off here. And the Fat Boy still survives. Reclaim factories for both Nully and Blue Dream still here. Still able to get access to this. You know, you get to put a good attack move out of those factories, which I'm hoping is what we see out of Nully right now. Yeah, that's exactly what we see. So again, if you want to see, you know, reclaim strategies, just search for, or maybe I'll just link it in the description. Hopefully I remember. But the whole video I did on reclaim, and yeah, you see him shifting that attack move order to this new mass field that's got, you know, another 25, 30,000 worth of reclaim. But this is going to be the best way to maximize reclaim income if you have the APM for it, is attack moving directly out of the factories. And I show you guys in that video exactly how to do it. Now we have the chicken from Sainaru actually given over to Gar. And, you know, that one chicken, it's got its own chicken to go up against, and it's getting shelled by the Fat Boy. So, I mean, this chicken is already at a disadvantage before it even fires a shot. There are a good amount of bricks in this mix, as well as Percivals, but, you know, you've still got a very large line of Percivals here. The chicken already down, so once again, we see what can only be described as a Tech 3 mass donation there. From Gar. He's desperate to break this line, but yeah, I feel like there are better ways to do it. He does have his own Fat Boy under construction, actually recently done, so at least that'll give him a little bit more of, you know, a long range option there instead of just sending Tech 3 units to their death and, you know, feeding what has now become a pretty massive reclaim operation here by Team 1. Up at 160k of their total mass income. So that is, you know, almost, that is, what would it be? 20%? Yeah, 20% of their total, little less than 20% of their total mass income has come from reclaim. And last time we checked in on them, they were at like 140,000. They're at 160,000. So 20k reclaim in just like the last 5 minutes or so out of these wrecks here in the middle, and it's not slowing down. We still got engineers out here. They're still reclaiming. And now it's time for team number 1 to hit back here, and I like team 1's strategy here for hitting back a little bit better because they do have the Fat Boy for long range artillery support. The chicken out here is pretty heavily damaged and is probably going to die before, you know, it gets anything done. I wouldn't even back it up at this point. I would just walk it in and, you know, let it take fire from this Fat Boy. Just let it be used as kind of a temporary meat shield. But the long range artillery support going to be really helpful as far as dealing with these Ravagers and the artillery. So we do have some Clink Hammers here trying to deal with the Fat Boy. But okay, now these Tech 3 units need to go in. Like, we got to shit or get off the pot here, buddy. Because right now these units are just formed up, begging to be killed. And now the Fat Boy's shields are down. Parashields dropping around it as well. So now he has to pull the Fat Boy back. And so he loses some of his artillery support. And now the Percivals go in. It's still going to work out pretty well for Team 1 here, I think. But I think it could have worked out a little bit better. I don't know. It could always be better. This amount of Percivals, this ball of Percivals is just, that's a very hard army to deal with. And there's even more coming up here from the north as well. Are using Corsairs to try and deal with it. These Percivals are just like dropping everything in sight. Like, look at these Harbingers. They just don't stand a chance. And even bricks are getting evaporated off the face of the planet. Now this Fat Boy's in danger. We could focus on this Fat Boy, which would be a really good idea if you're these Percivals. Get that damage off the table here. Otherwise, that Fat Boy is going to be a persistent thorn in your side. But may not have enough, doesn't have enough gas in the tank. His northern force is taken out. This main ball of Percivals is starting to take a lot of damage. We do have a very timely intervention of these Othams here. From Sainaru, actually. Those are units controlled by him. Brought in just the nick of time here to bail Gar out of what otherwise would have been a kind of a dangerous situation. Still is a pretty dangerous situation, but at least they hold. That chicken once again far forward for some reason. There for Blue Dream. It's, yeah, again, far forward. Like, either walk it in and use the Lightning Storm at this point, or just take it back and reclaim it. And there we go. We have a nuke out. Okay, so long range, long-term strategy put together by Nully. Nuke going after, okay, think he thought that this is... Nope, that is Gar's commander. Okay, this is a bad day now for Gar. Because I am not seeing an SMD. Matter of fact, I see tactical nuke here. That nuke is going to land, and Gar is going to be taken out. That might be game. We'll see what Sainaru does with this. He's got another experimental unit coming off the line here. I'm assuming it's a chicken. It's a chicken from somewhere. But he does have control now of all of Gar's units and all of his eco. This is a full share game. So we'll see what he does with this. There's always like a little bit of a, you know, like literally, I think it's what is it, sudden wealth syndrome, where somebody wins the lottery, they come into a lot of money, and then just all of a sudden they have no idea what to do with it, and so they just start doing random stuff with it. So like right now he's just like, I inherited all these units, you guys go and attack. And this probably isn't the best strategy, but you know, he's suffering from sudden wealth syndrome, so see how he deals with it. But yeah, these units just sitting there getting picked off by the fat boy. Where is Sainaru's comm? We've got Saku, Ras, preset. Okay, so Sainaru's commander is back here. Is getting an SMD online, which is good. So that'll protect his commander. Does have another SMD here. Okay, so SMD going to be able to cover, you know, most of the critical stuff. We'll see though if they get that is a very heavily assisted Stonager. So I think that nuke is actually going to come out before an SMD is going to come out. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Undoubtedly, Nuli is going to assume that there's an SMD, so he's probably just going to... That's probably why he's assisting it so heavily, is he's just going to bet that the SMD has not finished building a counter nuke, and that it's going to launch anyway. But Sainaru getting a little bit of penetration here. He's gonna take out some mexes. I almost immediately just said penetration testing because that's what I follow, like, penetration with. It's always testing in my line of work. Okay, but Nuke is going to be ready to fire any second now, and you know that Noli is just like zoomed in on that nuke. And this counter nuke, I don't think is going to be ready. Launches the nuke. I think that Sainaru might actually be out of that blast range, though. Oh, Sainaru has his own missile launcher. It's Sainaru moving into the nuke, assuming it's going after his main base. It's not. It's going after the missile launcher. Sainaru gonna move into the... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Wow. 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 I don't know whether, you know, Sainaru was playing checkers and Noli was playing chess there, or if that was just... If Noli really wanted to go after the missile launcher and just assumed that, well, I don't know, he would have scouted this out. I don't know. It's got to be, that's got to be some like crazy 4D chess move. Wow. That's crazy. Betting that your opponent is going to walk into your nuke. Or getting lucky. I don't know. It's either luck or it was a extremely well calculated move. But that's going to be it for our game today. I hope you all enjoyed it. 53 minutes. A little bit on the longer side of the games that I usually cast, but hope you guys enjoyed it. I, for one, am really happy that FAF didn't crash on me this time, because this is the second time I've recorded this, and FAF crashed on me last time about 30 minutes in. So glad that FAF made it through this whole game. Hope you all enjoyed it. More for me, more to come from me in the future. You know, do the whole YouTube dance if you want, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.